I have a really good video for you today, and I think you're really going to enjoy this. Today, we're going to be talking about the commemorative half-dollar program. Now, this program started 1892 and went all the way up until the 1950s. There were a lot of bumps along the road, but some amazing coins were created in this particular set. Now, not only were there 50-cent pieces, but there were also some gold commemoratives that showed up along the way. So I'm going to walk you through some of those. This is going to be a two-part series because there's so many amazing coins. Now we're just going to be hitting the surface, but if there's something in here that you like, please do me a favor, leave a comment down below. Let me know what coins you wish me to talk more about. And then we'll pull those, and then I'll do videos as requested. All right, let's get started. The first one in here is something that I'm sure every one of you have seen before. This is the Columbian Exposition half-dollar. It was the first commemorative coin produced by the U.S. Mint. Now, the Columbian Exposition was held to celebrate the 400th anniversary of Christopher Columbus landing in the New World. Now, we know that Amerigo Vespucci actually discovered America, but to each their own. But instead of opening in 1892, they actually opened in 1893, and the fair ran May 1st to October 31st of that year. It was such a popular event that two things happened. Number one, we got a national holiday. Can you guess which one? Hint, hint, wink, wink, look at the obverse. And the second one was this coin right here. Now, this coin has a place in history as the first coin to feature a real woman on it. Queen Isabella of Spain. A fabulous piece, but this, unlike any other in this set, is not a half-dollar. It's actually a quarter. And it's one of the only commemorative quarters that exist in the U.S. coin program. Absolutely amazing. But if you want one of these and anything above AU, prepare to sit back because this is going to fetch a heavy price. Now, there are some collectors that already have this. And if you have it, do me a favor, put something in chat. Let me know that you have this piece. This is one for the books. The next coin in this set is the Lafayette dollar. Now, 50,000 Lafayette commemorative dollars were sold at $2 each. And engraver of the mint, Charles Barber, was selected to design the coin. Now, Barber's verse strikes a resemblance to an 1881 Yorktown Centennial medal, which depicts the conjoining bust of Washington and Lafayette. 33 years later, this image would be utilized as the one for Washington's portrait on the quarter. On the reverse of the coin depicts Bartlett's statue of Lafayette on horseback. Now, Bartlett's name appears at the base of the statue. Encircling the border is the inscription erected by the youth of the United States of America in honor of General Lafayette, Paris, 1900. Absolutely neat coin. But the next one are some of the first gold coins in our series. And this would be the Louisiana Exposition. Now, there are two of these. There's one for Jefferson, and there's one for McKinley. This is the 1903 commemorative to the Louisiana Purchase Exposition. The exposition was held in St. Louis, Missouri, and celebrated the centennial of the purchase. The U.S. purchased 820,000 square miles of land. And anybody in chat want to guess how much they paid for each acre? You're probably going to be amazed. They paid an amazing 4 cents per acre. That's right, 4 cents per acre. You want to talk about purchasing power? It's a good argument to have. The coin in the Louisiana Purchase Expedition gold dollar, this gold coin, as well as this one right here, featuring McKinley instead of Jefferson, are absolutely amazing $1 gold coins from the Louisiana Purchase Exposition. These two are coins you absolutely are going to have. Now, the next coin on our list is going to be something a little bit different, and this one actually throws a little bit of kink. This is Lewis and Clark. The question, which one's the obverse? Well, hint, hint, wink, wink, look for the United States of America, and that's going to tell you which one's the obverse and which one's the reverse. The Lewis and Clark Exposition gold dollar was minted from 1904 to 1905, and it commemorated Lewis and Clark's Centennial Exposition, obviously in Oregon. Now, this is really unique. It's a great piece, and if you've ever been in or around the Astoria area, there's an area where you can climb up to a tower gives you a 360-degree view of the bay. Absolutely phenomenal. I was able to do that last year. Really beautiful area, and the view is to die for. What else is to die for is this coin right here. Now this is the Panama Pacific Exposition $50. Now this is just one of a number of coins that were created in this particular set. And after I go through these coins, I'm going to talk about the value of this set. And while the coins are a little bit different, they all are related to this Panama Pacific Exposition, related around the Panama Canal. Now I'll give a little bit of a brief history, just in case you didn't know. But on the obverse of this particular coin, Colombia scattering fruits and flowers. And you can't see it very well, but there's a cornucopia, or a horn of plenty, signifying the boundless resources of the West. If you look at the reverse of this coin, you're going to see the shield of the United States surmounted by the American eagle. Now the shield has two branches on each side. One is an olive branch and one is an oak branch. The next one in the Panama Pacific Exposition is the $1. Now this is a really fabulous piece. And this particular piece has quite a little bit more history to it. See, the canal builders who went to do that had to face amazing challenges. The obstacles that they faced from disease and rainfall, humidity, challenging terrain, just destroyed the French version when they were trying to do this. In fact, they lost 20,000 men in the attempt to build this. And when the Americans took over in 1904, they didn't fare a whole lot better, losing some 5,600 men to disease and various accidents. So do me a favor, if you're ever in or around the Panama Canal, tip your hat. A lot of people died so that we could connect the two adjoining oceans. Ironically, if you look at the reverse of this coin, you're going to see two dolphins, one above the one and just below the dollar. These two dolphins signify the joining of the two oceans, while the gentleman on the obverse recognizes one of the many fallen comrades who worked on that particular item. Again, continuing with this is the quarter eagle. Now the quarter eagle is an amazing piece. Now the obverse features Colombia, this time sitting on a mythical seahorse. Now she's riding through the waters of the Panama Canal and she's grabbing a caduceus. Now caduceus is the emblem of trade and commerce. And it represents, come to us, join us, right, in commerce, in trade, as we adjoin the two oceans. So it was a signaling of peace and prosperity that could be had by utilizing the Panama Canal. On the reverse, you see the eagle resting on E pluribus unum of the many one. Absolutely fabulous, beautiful design, but the piece de resistance in almost the entire set that I'm going to be talking about today are the next two coins. And this is the $50 gold coin. Now this is secondary to the next one, which is the octagonal coin I'm going to show. But this is the $50 Pan American, and this is fabulous. The design on this by Robert Atkin was amazing. You'll see here that there's only a few of these, and these command an amazing price. In fact, of the 1,500 that were supposed to be minted, only 483 of them were actually sold, meaning that the other 1,017 were sold back to the mint to be melted. So there's only 483 of these, making it the rarest of the gold coins in the commemorative series. Now this one did go second to this coin right here. And this coin right here is the octagonal one. Now they feature the same design elements, maybe slightly different, but that octagonal pattern, that octagonal design is the thing you really want to look for. Absolutely fabulous, amazing design. These are really cool pieces. Now, earlier I mentioned that there was a set. You want to see the prices? Well, hold on to your hats. You're going to be spending more than a cool $500,000 if you want to get this particular set. It's outrageous. The two gold coins that you see on the right, $500,000 minimum, and depending upon the grade, they may go as high as $1 million for the pair of coins. So if you're interested in getting this particular set, your pocketbook had better be pretty deep. All right, let's go ahead and go back to another coin that features McKinley, and this is the McKinley Memorial. Now it's 15 years after the assassination of President McKinley, and you'll see the bust of McKinley there on the obverse. And on the reverse, you're going to see this amazing building, which is the memorial building located in Niles, Ohio. It's a really great coin, and again, amazing partnership of two of the mint's giants, Charles Barber and George T. Morgan. Now, if you don't recognize the person on this coin, then you need to do some research into your American history. Because obviously this is Honest Abe here on the obverse with what I consider one of the coolest eagles on the reverse here on the Illinois Centennial $50. Now, obviously this one is taken of a bust. Now the bust is actually a statue that was created by Andrew O'Connor. And if you're from Illinois, you'll recognize the state seal. But again, I really do like this piece. It's very well done. You see kind of the sadness, the stoic properties of Abraham Lincoln, who was really concerned with really growing America. And I just think this is a fabulous, fabulous piece. All right, let's go ahead and dig into the Maine Centennial. Now, the Maine Centennial is another one that's a little bit different. Now, this one, which one's the obverse, which one's the reverse? And the obverse in this one is the one with the Maine state seal. The reverse, you see the little pines there, and you see the Maine Centennial on the back. A nice coin, very clean coin, not overly ornate or overly elegant, but it is to celebrate the 100th anniversary in 1920 of Maine's admission into the Union. The next coin is the coin I just recently picked up for my collection, and one of the many obverses featuring a ship. Now, if you know me, Frosty loves his ships. And so this is one that I absolutely had to pull. I got one in AU. Absolutely beautiful specimen. And this particular coin holds true two core values for me: faith and the freedom of our nation. Now, the freedom of our nation, I was in the Navy, so obviously ships hold a special portion to me. But again, you see the Pilgrim there, the landing at Plymouth Rock, and them holding the Bible. I really do like this design. It's one of the cool ships that are in this series. Not the best ship in the series, but again, a very nice representation there of the Mayflower. All right, the next one is going to be the Alabama Centennial. Now, this is a coin for all of you trivia buffs. Now, if you're a trivia buff and you like knowing these little tidbits and these weird pieces of information, this is a coin you want to stick in your cap. So the obverse design of this features two people: William Wyatt Bibb, who was the first governor of Alabama, and then the only person who was alive at the time that was actually featured on a coin while they still were alive. And that person is T.E. Kilby, or who was the governor at the time that this coin was done. The 22 stars recognize Alabama as the 22nd state admitted into the Union. Really cool design. One of the better ones featuring two busts, in my opinion. I really like the design element here. You'll see this is on a couple different coins, but of them, I think this is the best two bust design. All right, Davy Crockett. It's actually not Davy Crockett, it's Daniel Boone, but I like the song. You see him wearing his coonskin cap and deer coat. Very popular. When I was a kid, Daniel Boone and Davy Crockett were definitely people that we grew up and aspired to be, running around playing cowboys and Indians and all that fun stuff. And you can see there on the obverse, Daniel Boone working with one of the Native Americans, pointing towards where the other Americans would be. Absolutely nice. I really like this coin. Now, the place that he was pointing to was the place in which the commemorative coin or the commemorative exposition happened, and that is in a place called Sedalia. Fabulous design, really neat piece, and again, just a really cool depiction of an American icon. Now, this one is going to be the first of a couple that shows two coins. Now, in this particular case, the gold coin and the silver coin are going to be exactly the same obverse and reverse. It's not always the case, but in this case it is. So I'm not hiding anything with myself kind of covering a portion of this gold coin. But this is the Grant Memorial, and this is in honor of the 100th anniversary of Ulysses S. Grant's birth. Now you'll see Grant there on the obverse, and then on the reverse, you'll see a sketch of the historic log cabin in which Grant was born. Another log cabin famous through history is also found on the 2009 formative years and the early years, Lincoln Sense, where they show the log cabin that Lincoln was born in. So again, this is not the only time that the birthplace of a president was shown, but again, really cool representation of the 100th anniversary of Ulysses S. Grant's birth. Now, this coin celebrates the Monroe Doctrine. Now, I'm going to point to probably the only negative thing that I'm going to say about any coin in this series. And if you looked at this particular coin, you might think it's a fake. Unfortunately, William Pike and David Bowers, who critiqued this coin, said because of the very low relief, it looked very uninspired, almost like it had been worn. So this coin didn't get a lot of love from a lot of people. Not a bad coin. The Monroe Doctrine is something you definitely want to look up in history. Very important. However, this coin, frankly, is not one of my favorites, so I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on it. Now, this is a very nice one. Again, another ship, and this is talking about the Huguenot Walloon Tercentenary. Now, this was done in 1924 and celebrates the 300th anniversary of New Netherland, now also known as New York. Now, this was settled by the Walloons, the French, and the Belgian Huguenots under the Dutch West India Company. And if you happen to have an extra one of these, I love this ship. Reach out to me and let me know. Now, this is Admiral Gaspard de Coligny, 1519 to 1572, and Wilhelm I of Orange, also known as William the Silent, 1533 to 1584. And they weren't directly involved in the settlement, but they were involved in the religious struggle that was there. And so they had a huge hand in getting people to that area and getting the ship and getting stuff done. So they were honored on the obverse of this coin. And again, absolutely fabulous ship. Love the reverse design on this. The ship is just absolutely gorgeous. The ship on the reverse is called the New Nederland, which is New Netherlands. That's the ship that actually brought them over and the one that they found. And this was actually created by George T. Morgan. Again, a really cool obverse design. The obverse on here is good. It's a decent twin pairing of people. So I do like the design. Not one of my favorites. I already told you which one of my favorite ones, but again, another classic ship there on the reverse. The next coin everybody's going to be familiar with. If you've seen many bullion coins or any bullion rounds, you've probably seen this miner grace a number of items. This is obviously the California Diamond Jubilee, celebrating the 50th anniversary of the statehood of California into the Union, also recalling the famous gold rush. On the reverse is the grizzly bear, which is the state symbol for California. Now, this one was really interesting because there were 300,000 coins that were produced or that were eligible for being produced, but San Francisco only minted 150,000 of these. But they sold for $1 a piece, and not 150,000 of them sold. Only 87,000 of them actually were released. But even though there's a very low mintage of these, higher than others, they're still very easy to find in really good condition. So this is one, if you're from the state of California or you like the Niners, this is something you're really going to want to keep in your collection. This is one of the simplest designs, and I really like its elegance in simplicity. This is the Lexington Concord Semi-Quescentennial. This $50 was released in 1925 to commemorate the 150th anniversary of the Battle of Lexington and Concord. Now, it was authorized just like the other one for 300,000 coins, but they only distributed about 162,000 of these. Now, the coins were packaged in these little wooden boxes which featured the images of the obverse and the reverse. And again, it did sell for $1, which is absolutely fabulous. Back in that day, $1 was a lot of money. So it wasn't a little bit of pocket change, but again, I really like the very simplistic look at through. And this old belfry in Lexington is what is on the reverse of this coin. All right, I told you there were a lot of these. Now, this is one we talked about quite a few times in my streams, mainly because it's highly counterfeited. There's a lot of these out there. You want to look for what looks like good strikes with really weak details. But this is the Stone Mountain Memorial, and this was released in 1925 to commemorate the work that began in 1923 on the Stone Mountain Memorial there in Georgia. Now, years and years and years went by, but it wasn't until 1970 that they decided on a sculptor for this, and they didn't quite go with the grandiose scale that they wanted to. Still an absolutely amazing design. The reverse features an emblematic area. The reverse features an eagle emblematic of liberty poised on a mountain crag. The stars dimly visible. The reverse on this coin features an eagle that's emblematic of liberty poised on a mountain crag. You see the stars from the sky dimly lit in the background. It's a really neat design. I really like this design, but again, if you're looking for this particular coin, buyer beware, caveat emptor. You'll hear that. That is my phrase. That is something that buyer beware. That's something you really want to pay attention to because there's a lot of counterfeits. We're going to be talking about another coin coming up in this particular series that's counterfeited a lot, so stay tuned for that as well. All right, the next one is Fort Vancouver. This is the Centennial Half Dollar. It was released in 1925 and it commemorates the 100th anniversary of the founding of Fort Vancouver by the Hudson Bay Company there in the state of Washington. Now, San Francisco produced these, but you will not find a mint mark on these. So if you're ever looking at one of these and you find the S mint mark, buyer beware. It's probably a counterfeit. You'll see Dr. John McLaughlin, who is the builder of the fort, and the reverse features a frontiersman there with the mountain peak and the fort in the background. I really like the design on this obverse. It's very simple, very clean, and the reverse is really reminiscent of some places that I've been to throughout my life. Really cool. All right. One of the tumultuous coins that came out of the mint didn't happen in just 1 year. In fact, it happened in 8. There were 8 different dates at 3 different mint marks for this particular piece. This is the Oregon Trail Memorial Half Dollar. Now, why did this cause such a stir? Well, the problem was that this coin had a lofty mintage of 6 million pieces. And it was by far the highest of any coin that had came out thus far, relating to the commemorative series. And they were offered at San Francisco and Philadelphia Mint. However, because the Association for the Oregon Trail had the ear of the U.S. Mint, they would produce additional coins. 1928, 1933, 1934, 1936, 1937. Anybody recognizing the Morgan and Peace dollar revisit, right? The Mint just kind of went through and just kept remaking them and remaking them. And there was some kind of shady dealings when it actually came to the marketing of this when they first got Denver to mint the coins, indicating that they were going to be a rarity. And they sold much higher than all the other ones. Actually, they sold for about $2 a piece. But when they sold in 38 and 39, they later sold, for $6.25, all the way up to $7.50 per coin. Now you're talking about a lot of money for these. And again, it had to do with the marketing of this and the historical prevalence. But it put a nasty taste in a lot of collectors' mouths because they didn't like the fact that they just kept printing and printing and printing and printing. And it made it to where you had to buy the PD&S sets, which a lot of people got really frustrated with. So while it's a beautiful coin, there's a lot of history behind this. If you want to know more about this coin or the Oregon Trail, we did a little bit of a talk about it, but let me know and we can dig into this a little bit more. Now, the coin that I'm going to show next is probably one of my favorites in the set because there's 2 coins, but the 2 coins celebrate the 150th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. Now, one of them, the one on the bottom, is the commemorative half dollar. There you can see the presidents on the front, with the Liberty Bell on the reverse, or the $2.50 gold piece, which features Liberty with her outstretched arm and a torch, holding a scroll in the other, while the back features Independence Hall. This is a really nice piece. I really like the fact that they changed the design elements between the two. It's really, really beautifully done. The elegant pieces, amazing coins, but there's only certified 11,000 examples of these. So again, by far, one of the strongest pieces in many collectors' sets. Vermont Semi-Quincentennial, celebrating the 150th anniversary of the Battle of Bennington. Now, the reverse features Ira Allen, which is the founder of Vermont, and the back features a catamount, which is a large wild cat native to that area, for the date of the Battle of Bennington. If you're an animal lover, then this is one coin you definitely want to look for. The next one is one that I really enjoy, and having spent time in the military, spending time in Hawaii, both of the people on this coin are people that I'm very familiar with. One is Captain James Cook, and the other one is King Kamehameha. Now, if you've ever been to Waikiki, you know when you look at Waikiki, you see the King Kamehameha statue, and you'll see Diamond Head in the background, and you'll see Waikiki Beach. It's a beautiful representation of what you'll actually see if you stand at the foot of King Kamehameha there at Waikiki Beach. Now, Waikiki Beach has changed a lot since I was there. It's very touristy now, and so you may not see this exact view, but it's very reminiscent of when I served in Hawaii. Beautiful coin, very expensive, hard to find. This is a good coin to have, especially if you like Hawaiian or John Cook's history. All right, ladies and gentlemen, those were the first few coins in the series. Now, I told you this is going to be pretty long and drawn out. There's going to be some things that need to be done in preparation for number 2, but you'll probably see this here in a couple days. Do me a favor, stay tuned and watch for part 2 of this amazing series. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Frostbyte. I will see you guys next time.